There are some comments you do not forget, especially the ones about your body. You remember the exact words, you remember the look on their face. You can remember pretending it didn't hurt because you did not want to seem dramatic. Now suddenly you change how you dress. You stop wanting to be touched. You avoid pictures. You compare yourself more. You start seeing your body through their criticism. And then they say, it was just a joke. So today we want to talk about that line. When is a body comment just a hurtful comment? When is it body shaming? And when does it become emotional abuse or a type of control?
Yeah, and we want to be clear right away. Not every bad comment is abuse. People say dumb things. I know I say dumb things. People mess up. And people can be insensitive in the moment. And this can go both ways, men and women. A male and a female can both be abusive in this instance. But if there's a pattern of someone using your body to shame you, control you, compare you, reject you, or even make you feel like you're lucky that they still want you, that's a different conversation.
I think this topic is hard because people get defensive fast. Some people hear body shaming and immediately think everyone is too sensitive now. And the other side of that is promoting body positivity when it's really just unhealthy habits. But we don't want to look like or get put in that box as someone who is body shaming when we're really just concerned. But I don't think this is about pretending nobody can ever talk to your significant other about health, attraction, habits, weight, intimacy, things like that, or changes in a relationship, because that's not realistic. The issue is how it is said, why it is said, and what pattern it becomes.
Yeah, I agree, because there's a huge difference between a hard conversation and humiliation, right? A hard conversation can still have love in it. It can still have a lot of respect. It has to have a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And it can still protect the person's dignity. Humiliation is different. Humiliation makes that person feel small. And not every insensitive comment is abuse.
Yeah.
But repeated body criticism, body shaming, control, compare, humiliate, it lowers someone's confidence, and that is where it can become abusive.
Exactly. And I think that is the first test. After the conversation, do you feel supported or do you feel ashamed? Do you feel loved or do you feel like your body is now a problem you have to fix to deserve the love?
I can remember a time. Actually, I've been on both the giving and receiving end of body shaming, and the time that I can remember was I was dating this girl, and I would drink a lot, and when I did drink, I mean, my belly would just kind of pooch out.
You had that
right?
beer belly.
I had that beer belly. I had that dad bod, as they call it, right? And every so often she'd, like tap me on my belly.
Should I rub your belly?
Yeah, like rub it and then tap me on it, and almost intending to say that, oh my God, you're fat or something like that.
Well, that's how you were taking it.
That's how I took it for sure. And I remember one time we were standing in the kitchen and she did that, and it really offended me. Like that one time, it pissed me off, and it hurt my feelings. And I was like, I need you to leave. She goes, why? What's wrong? I said, I need you to quit, hitting my belly. And I said, it hurt my feelings. And I said, I need you to leave. I said, you're tapping my belly. She's like, well, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean anything by it. Well, I don't care. You need to leave because, I just, right now I don't want to be around you. And it did. It hurt my feelings.
But was that the first time she did that, or had that been a pattern that she had done multiple times to where that's why you reacted that way? Instead of saying like, hey, that hurt my feelings, you were like, get out of my house. It's.
It was not the first time. And I think that was where I failed to communicate in the first, second, third, fourth, whatever instance.
Yeah.
Is I didn't communicate my feelings when it first happened. I let it build up. And maybe she thought that it was okay and that it really
because you
didn't.
never said anything?
Because I never said anything. Maybe she didn't think that it, I was taking it any way. And then until the day I did, and it pissed me off. And I was like, I need you to leave.
Yeah. Well, because that's, like, I'm trying to think of it from her perspective too, is you're not saying anything, so she thinks it's okay. And
Right.
then when you finally say, hey, you meet it with such intensity to where you're like, get out of my house. And she's like, holy shit, like, I had no idea. Like, what do you, but that's also where you have to work on your, in hindsight, communication, like the second or third time, like, okay, listen, this isn't funny anymore. And
Right.
I'm a
I
man.
agree.
I'm sensitive too, because I think we as women also assume that men are just not as sensitive as we are, because I feel like I've like said something to you about been like, oh, babe, I love your dad bod. But of course I would never, like, if that really upset you, I would hope you would tell me.
Yeah.
Not just be like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, the difference though in that instance is at the time I was very self-conscious with the way that I looked and the way that my body was. And
Really?
I felt like I had a beer belly and it was new for me to, it was kind of my new.
I just can never picture you self-conscious. It's just I know, because I feel like you just have such great confidence. I just can't picture
I do, but
a time
I'm
where you
also,
were insecure or self-conscious.
Yeah, I do, but I'm also my biggest critic, right? As everybody
As
is.
we all are.
I was starting to see a change in my belly where I could see my belly protruding. And
All that metabolism started to slow
It
down.
slowed down. Yeah,
Mr. I
so-
can eat and drink whatever I want. All of a sudden,
all of
no,
a sudden
I can't.
all of a sudden it changed, and I could see my body and feel my body changing, and it was in a point of time that it was really being called out, and I think that's why it offended me and why it hurt in that moment. And after that, it was fine once I expressed my feelings. Like, she left that day, and
I was going to say, did you guys talk about it afterwards?
Yeah,
and
we
like,
did. We talked about it afterwards, and it was the same, just like you said. Like, she asked why I never brought it up before, like if it was pissing me off or hurting my feelings, why I didn't say something before. And I don't know if I just kind of let it ride, like maybe in the moments I didn't really care, and then until I did, till I did care. So maybe that was it, but it was definitely one of those moments that I let build up in my own head until I exploded. And I went from 0 to 100, and I was like, get away from me.
yeah.
I was like, get out of my face. I don't want to be around you. Please leave. So it was in that moment that I realized, just kind of how a man can also be on the receiving end of body shaming. And, not to say anything else, but I was also at one time very tough on my ex-wife about the weight she had gained. And I was, not the best, not the best person. And, one of my faults that I've been able to identify, but she gained some weight, and we talked about the foods she would eat, because I felt like she ate like shit and would eat, Cinnabon and
What?
Cinnamon rolls.
I know. I just want to hear you say it again. What?
Cinnabon.
Cinnabon?
Cinnabon.
Cinnabon.
Okay.
Bun.
Okay.
Not bon.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, and she would just eat crap a lot, and so I would make comments about it, and I think it made her feel a certain type of way about
Oh, I'm sure.
the way she looked.
Yeah.
It's something that we never talked about.
Well, I thought you talked about it in marriage counseling.
I was just going to say, yeah, it was something that we never talked about until we got to marriage counseling. And
Gotcha.
that's when it was brought up, like when we got to marriage counseling, she's like, oh my God, every time you would say something about what I eat or what I look like or how much I weighed, it would really hurt me. And
Well, yeah, and I'm sure it hurt you guys' intimacy too, because you can't, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, that definitely plays a huge role in intimacy, and then that will tear down other parts of your relationship too. So,
yeah, I think so. I can definitely see how it affected the intimacy and the growth in our relationship for sure. It definitely was one of the intimacy was one of the biggest problems in our relationship, among other things, but that was one of the biggest. So let's get into the difference between concern versus control.
yeah, like when do you want to bring a sensitive subject like this up because you're actually concerned? Not fake concern, not saying you're concerned, but really hiding behind something else, not hiding your control with a concern mask. So what are some examples that people could listen and hear for?
I think concern can sound like you don't seem like yourself lately, or are you okay? Concern sounds like, do you want me to help support you? How can I help support you? What can I do for you? And concern can also sound like, I love you and I want us both to feel healthy. Whereas the control side of it can sound like, are you really going to eat that? Or you look better before, you'd be more attractive if you didn't eat these certain things. Yeah. Or my ex never let herself go. Oh my God, that one would fire somebody up, right? Like, talking about my ex never let
she never let herself go.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? She let you go, and that's what I'm about to do. If you don't.
Control can sound like, I'm not attracted to you anymore, but said in a way that is meant to punish, not just communication. Control often has a tone of superiority, like, I'm just being honest, but the honesty is only being used to tear you down.
Yeah, because honesty without compassion can just become cruelty. Mm-hmm. And I think people hide behind that.
Yeah, and if I say or they say, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, okay, but are you being honest because you want to help that person improve? Or are you honest because you want power and are trying to manipulate a situation?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, because if your honesty makes your partner feel disgusting or unwanted and compared and unsafe in their own body, you need to ask yourself what the goal actually was. And also on the flip side of that, the person being told these things and being made to feel this way needs to ask themselves, is my person really trying to help me or just tear me down? Is this healthy behavior? I remember when one of my exes and I were together, used to make comments about like when I would eat things, or if and not comments in the sense like, oh, are you sure you want to eat that? But I remember, if I was eating something that maybe wasn't the super healthiest or kind of snacky, right, he'd look at me and go,
oh,
like that, like make, like, I am going to get bigger. Just be like, that's not, like, maybe you think in your head that's funny, but it's not funny. And I would tell him, like, you can't say stuff like that. Like, that's not cool. Like, that's not helpful. You're not going to make me not want to eat that thing next time I see it, right? It's a Cinnabon. I'm not going to not want to eat it next time because you went, and made some face. Like, and then my other ex used to talk to me about, what I would eat, like, as we would go out to eat a lot, and his metabolism was different than mine. So he could work out, go have chips and margaritas and be fine. And, he'd tell me, like, don't eat the chips. Just have your margarita, or don't have margarita and just don't eat all the chips. Like, and so we'd go to the Mexican restaurant and I'd start having some chips and he'd be like, see, you're just going to ruin everything you did because you ate the chips,
Oh my gosh, how do you go to a Mexican restaurant and not eat the chips?
How do you go to a Mexican restaurant and not eat the bottomless chips?
Yeah.
That's the first thing
It's World Cup right now, and the Europeans are figuring out that chips and salsa come for free, and it's probably the best thing I've ever seen on the internet right now.
That one thing that you showed me where the guy, I think is he Japanese or somewhere Asian?
Okay.
And
probably from Japan.
Talking about how, like, he's like, I have not earned these. I don't understand. How is this free? I have not earned this food. And I've gluttoned myself on five bags
of chips.
Five bowls of chips before my food even got there. And then my food got there and I was full from the chips that I didn't deserve that I ate. And it was just funny. I laughed. But, and then, my one ex, the one that bought the chips and stuff, he would, like, it's like my workouts were never good enough either. Like, either it was a waste of time, he almost made me feel like, because he didn't think they were good enough, or he thought I should be doing something different. But
like what you were doing to work out wasn't enough?
Yeah, I guess, or just the types of workouts. Because I did a lot of that kind of like boot camp style workouts too. Mm-hmm. And so it would be like in a group setting with other people. And I think he just thought it was like silly, or I don't know. But it didn't seem very supportive. Like, even though I was trying to get out and be healthy and, lose some weight. Because I'm telling you, when I turned 30, I think that's when my metabolism started going downhill. That's when I started, all of a sudden gaining more weight and not... doing the same things I was doing before were not working, or it wasn't working as fast. And my body, I just saw it change more.
Mine hit about 35 is when I really felt the difference in my metabolism. It was about 35 is when I started eating a lot more ice cream, and so I started putting on a lot more weight. And I mean, at 35... I'd say, 30s to early 30s to mid 30s is where probably your body does change anyway, and your metabolism slows down, and that was probably where that came from with you. Probably
and then we would go out to eat a lot, like,
which is
we would
tough
go
on
to
your
the
body.
restaurant, and so it's like this constant battle too to go, okay, should I eat this salad or should I eat the enchiladas? Like, I really want the enchiladas, but I probably should eat the, and you kind of develop an unhealthy relationship with food sometimes too, because the things you want to eat, you feel guilty after you eat them.
When you're being body shamed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can make you develop. I mean, thankfully I say that not talking from personal experience. I don't think I have a bad relationship with food, but I just know it would make me feel guilty sometimes. Like the days that I'd be like, you know what? Heck it, I'm getting the enchiladas, or I'm getting the thing with all the cheese sauce or something, and then afterwards like, did you really need that? You could have had something else. Like, yeah, I could have, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. Yeah, I just wanted to eat what I've wanted to eat.
Yeah. Just, love me anyway.
Right. And that brings up the next subject is, let's talk about when body shaming becomes abuse. So where is that line, right?
Okay.
When does it move from a hurtful comment to something more abusive?
I think it becomes abusive when it becomes a pattern or is used as a tactic to manipulate you. If someone can make you insecure, then they can make you easier to control.
Right, makes sense.
If somebody repeatedly comments on your weight, your body, the food you eat, your attractiveness, or compares you to other people, and the result is that you feel smaller and easier to control, that's being abusive.
I agree, especially if the aggressor knows it hurts you, but they keep doing it anyways. Excuse me, and that's the key. Once someone knows it hurts you, they don't get to keep calling it out as just a joke or, oh, I'm just being honest. At some point, the I was joking becomes a cover for I want permission to hurt you without consequence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And body shaming can become control because it attacks someone's confidence. If I were to attack your body, it would make you feel a certain type of way. If I was like, oh yeah, you should be this hourglass, but instead of this hourglass, your hips go like this, it would make you feel a certain type. It would probably piss you off, and it probably would make you look internally, and like you said earlier, make you start seeing yourself through my criticism of you.
Yeah, if someone can make you feel unattractive enough, insecure enough, or unwanted enough, you may start believing, you can't leave either. Like,
Right.
You're going to start thinking, who else would want me? And you may start tolerating more bad behavior because they convinced you that you are less. And that's why this matters and this is important. I mean, if you were going to say things like that to me, I would definitely, I don't know that I would get mad. But I would definitely start feeling insecure about myself or nitpicking things or looking in the mirror. And then maybe I didn't see that before. Like my ex.
That's a better word. I like your verbiage there.
Like my ex, I remember one time commented about something that I was never self-conscious about. Like he used to tell me that I had a bald spot on my head or whatever. And it was like a certain spot here. And it made me so self-conscious that I actually started doing my hair a different way. And it was just because of how my hair was parted in the back.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a freaking, but he put an insecurity in my mind that I'd never had there before. And then he had made comments about like my boobs before that made me really self-conscious, which like this is the same person who never wanted to see me undressed anyway. So
weird.
There's, there was also that, like, had another level of insecurity, whether he did that as a form of,
control or manipulation.
or just because he was weird. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
like it definitely brought a lot of insecurities to me that I didn't even have before because I was just like, what? I never thought of.
Can we get into that? Is that a subject you're okay with?
Get into what?
Like you being in a marriage where your significant other doesn't want to see you naked. I can only imagine that would make you feel insecure or like you're not good enough, or it would make you feel a certain type of way of some sort. Like I can't imagine that. Like us going through the day and being like, oh no, please put some clothes on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I don't want to assume and just say that he never wanted to, but he never tried.
Okay.
Like, or would not, try to.
So nudes were out of the question.
No.
Like sending nudes was out of the question.
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe in like those beginning days when he was trying to put on a certain persona, but no. Like, and I remember one time, like we were having a conversation. He was like, I can't talk to you unless you put clothes on. And I was like, what? It's like such a weird thing to say. Like, I get if you're having a serious conversation, maybe it's distracting, but like it wasn't even that, it didn't feel like that.
It wasn't that deep.
No.
Did it make you feel insecure?
Yeah, I felt very insecure And I mean, both of my marriages, I would say I felt very insecure. And then, my first marriage, after, I forget when we had this conversation, but he had told me that, and he didn't say because of his own insecurities. I'm going to insert that line there because that was the underlying tone, was because of his own insecurities. He never used to tell me things like, oh, you're beautiful, or I think, you're really pretty, or you look great, or stuff like that, because he didn't want me to know how great I looked, because he thought then that I would just leave him, which backfired on him because I left him anyway. And it made me do things that, I think he thought that I was going to try and seek validation from him harder, and it did the opposite. It made me not seek validation or want validation from him, but instead seek it from other people in unhealthy ways.
I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly what will happen if your significant other isn't boosting your confidence, right? You're going to go and find it somewhere else. You're going to find that attention. You're going to find
if that's
that
something
boost
that you
of confidence.
need.
Yeah.
Right. If that's part of your love language.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
you're someone who doesn't need, because I know
I
now.
think everybody needs a boost of confidence,
Right.
and to be told they look pretty.
Well, yeah, but I
man
mean, I
or
know,
woman, I don't
know
care.
now that words of affirmation are really big. That's like my secondary love language. Physical touch is my first, words of affirmation is second. So hearing things like that is something that I need, and it's something I need maybe more than, maybe words of affirmation are not as important to somebody. But yes, being told that they look nice and beautiful and, all the things is, I'm sure still man and woman, want to hear those things, but some people more than others. And how he went about it, because that's such a big thing for me, it did the opposite of what he wanted.
Oh, for sure. I can imagine. We broke down the 7 love languages in a prior.
There's 5.
5 love languages in a prior
God, it can't be 7.
podcast. So if you're unfamiliar with the love languages,
We'll link it. We can link it.
We'll link it. And also, I mean, there's a lot of great publications, books. Hell, Mel Robbins talks about the love languages. I think it's important for a good relationship if you can identify your own love languages. Mm-hmm. And when you are speaking words of affirmation to someone, if that's their love language, doing the opposite of that by body shaming, by
telling them, yeah, you look all right, you look okay.
Yeah,
don't get ahead of
whatever.
yourself. You're fine.
Or
You're
just,
not that cute.
Or not even acknowledging when someone dresses up. Say we're going on a date, right? And you get all dressed up, looking cute, feeling cute, looking in the mirror, and I come out to grab the car and get us to dinner, and I don't even mention anything about the way that you look, and you just spent an hour and a half getting yourself prettified, right? That would break your heart a little bit. Like it would, and I think over time, the lack of that acknowledgement is a form of body shaming, or can be a form of abuse, because you're not giving that person, you're not giving your significant other that boost or that validity to what they look like.
Yeah.
And if somebody takes a long frickin' time to get ready and they really put some effort into it, as a man,
I want you to tell me I look
whether
nice.
you believe it or not, maybe her hair isn't done the perfect way, but as a man,
maybe you're not crazy about her outfit.
Right. But as a man, you have to validate that. You have to say, babe, you look great.
Yeah, I want you to tell me all the time that I'm beautiful, that I am just, the most gorgeous woman you've ever seen.
And even if
even if you don't think so, just tell me.
Right. I was just going to say, and it's not to be untruthful in that moment, but it is to help boost that confidence of yours, because you want to go out looking cute, feeling as good as you think you look, right?
Well, and I can't remember a time, and I mean, I don't want to say that they never told me that I looked nice or whatever, but I can't remember those being things like when we would, and me and my ex went out a lot. I can't remember like him, oh, you look really nice, or I like that. You know, if anything, I remember more of, are you going to wear that? Or are you sure you want to wear that? Or why don't you wear this? Or like, and I remember one time I was starting to lose a little bit of weight and I was feeling good about myself, and I'd never worn like, I used to be really, really insecure about my stomach because before I had my tummy tuck, I had a lot of excess skin from having children because I was so small, and then I got big, and it was, you know, there was nothing I could do about it. It was just skin from my skin stretching. But I, you know, had tummy tuck, and so I had never really worn like crop top shirts. And so I had we were going out to a country bar, and I had my blue jean shorts on. I had a little white shirt on that was like kind of a crop top and boots.
Yeah.
And my ex-husband was like, what are you, you know, you're not 25. Like, what are you doing? Don't wear that. You look silly. Like, you're not, you know, you're over 30.
Oh.
You're 30-something years old. And I was just like, okay. And I literally went and put a different shirt on. I put a black shirt on that was very similar to this. So it wasn't as, it might have even been this shirt, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But, like, it was just a longer crop top. Like, it wasn't as short. It was just a little bit longer.
So much of a belly
shirt. It didn't,
shirt.
like, yeah. So so I put that on. I'm like, okay, is that better? And I don't even remember what he said. Maybe I guess or whatever. I don't know. But I was just like, you know, I mean, if you've come to me and asked me my opinion about your outfit, and I will give it to you, but I am never going to tell you like,
don't wear that.
Yeah, don't wear that. I'll just, you know, if anything, I'm like, okay, you know, that was
what
I say
one
about
thing,
the white shoes.
Yeah, my white shoes that you hate so much. But that was one thing that since we've been in a relationship that I thought was so much different than anyone else I ever dated, is I would make jokes, or I have made jokes of, babe, what would you do if I came out wearing this, right? Wearing some goofy ass outfit, whatever it is. And you're like, I don't care, wear whatever you want. And I'm like, what? You wouldn't even stop me? Like, if we're going out together, you wouldn't even stop me? You're like, no, it's not a big deal, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have to be really bad. I don't,
Yeah.
you know, where I draw the line is the white shoes. I'm like, what about a different
I'm
pair?
getting a different pair of white shoes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, great. I love that.
So,
But
I don't know. I think when you start with the body shaming, where you're calling out somebody's known insecurities, like obviously,
and creating ones that weren't even there.
There you go. That's a good one too, is creating insecurities. I think that's where it can be really abusive and awful. I mean, if I know that you have an insecurity about one part of your body, I mean, I swear, I mean, every woman, I don't know, maybe every person, but every woman has the one thing that they can't stand on themselves, right? Like,
yeah, and it's normally the thing that we just cannot change, you know? It's
it's
like
something that you can't control.
Yeah.
Right. So if I call that out and I dig at you and dig at you and dig at you for it, that's that pattern we were just talking about, is the pattern of it. That's where it can become abusive.
Yeah.
And really should be, as the victim, should be addressed. Call it out. Say, I don't like what you're saying. That makes me feel a certain type of way that doesn't sit right with me, something. Don't do like I did and just let it marinate until I exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it really, if you let it build, it can compound.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, this can get really painful in intimate relationships because your body is already vulnerable there.
Yeah.
If a partner criticizes your body and, rejects you as punishment, makes comments about how you used to look,
Right.
or make you feel like affection depends on your appearance, that can do real damage.
I agree, and I think men especially need to hear it. You may think one comment. Sorry. I agree, and I think men especially need to hear this. You may think one comment is not that deep or it's not that bad, but if that comment lands in the most vulnerable part of your partner, it can change how safe they feel with you. And once somebody feels unsafe in their body with you, the intimacy changes. They can pull away. They may not want to be seen. They may not believe some compliments that you give them anymore. And they may even start performing instead of connecting. So they're going to start pulling away. And then the other person acts confused when you initiate intimacy. Like, why are you different? You always tell me no, or the old headache.
Yeah, I have a headache. Yeah. But they helped create that distance. I've said this so many times before, but you cannot be hurtful during the day and expect intimacy at night. You cannot be so critical and just so degrading or mean and hurtful and then expect that when you want something, it's, when you want to be intimate, it's just going to happen because, well, we're married and that's what you're supposed to do. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that we're supposed to do there, and being hurtful is not one of them.
Yeah, there has to be the respect all day.
Yeah.
One of the best things to do is, treat that person nicely. And look, having those conversations sometimes is tough, but it has to have respect.
Yeah, you can go about things in a respectful way.
Yeah.
But you just can't be hurtful and not be, disrespectful, and then expect that,
Or have morning sex, maybe. Just knock it out in the morning, and
except if you're just always a jerk, and then in the morning time it's like, listen, I still remember what you said or what you did.
Yeah.
It can have a really big impact on intimacy, and then when your relationship starts falling apart at the intimate level, it's going to start falling apart on a lot of other levels too. And that's just cold, hard truth. That's how our body works. That's how we're wired mentally too. We crave intimacy and companionship and want to be close to the person we're with. And when those things start falling apart, then other aspects of your relationship are going to start falling apart. And if you have somebody in your life that you see them going down an unhealthy road, there are healthy ways to bring that to their attention and talk about it, not passive aggressive, overly critical, hurtful things.
And that's exactly what happened in my marriage. Was I was overly critical, and through counseling and health, just through life, really.
You didn't realize you were being a jerk.
I didn't realize that I was being that critical, or maybe I did, but really didn't care in the moment, because
that could be a thing too, is you knew, but you didn't care in the moment because you were already frustrated for other things.
Yes. There was a lot of resentment between us. There was a lot of friction. So it was a lot of not caring about her feelings.
Not caring about how you delivered the message because you already had the built up resentment. And so, and that plays a part too. So sometimes you have to figure out.
Figure out what? Keep going. You have to figure out what?
Figure out, are you delivering your message in a healthy way, or are you using your resentment and the built-up frustration you have to lash out, in an unhealthy way?
So let's talk about what a healthy version of this looks like.
Yeah.
Because we also don't want to say couples can never talk about health or their attraction to their significant other.
Yeah. Healthy partners can have hard conversations, but they do not lead with shame. We have had conversations about our attraction to each other and our weight. I mean, our weight has fluctuated
Yes.
since we've been together. I know mine has,
Yeah.
and yours has. And I've asked before, like, are you still attracted to me? Do you still think I'm...
You asked me
do you-
yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I did.
Yeah.
Because I get very insecure about my body and my weight, and I had gained some weight. And then with having like cancer and my boobs looking the way they do now, because I don't have my final reconstruction, and I'm just worried about, I haven't been able to work out the way I used to work out. So I feel like I'm losing, muscle mass or gaining more fat. I'm just, I just get nervous. But even before that, I've asked you, do you still find me attractive? Am I still,
Yeah, and I feel like all of what has happened since April is all temporary. I mean,
Yeah, but like even before April,
your
I had
body-
gained
your-
10 to 15
Yes.
pounds since we've been together.
Sure. What your body has been through since April in these last 4 months is insane, right? It's insane. So this piece of it is, in my opinion, irrelevant to what the future holds. But we can look back at the past. So, yeah, before we started taking our Bravenly Global supplements, we were 20 pounds heavier. I was 20 pounds heavier. You were 20 pounds heavier. We started taking a fat burner pill, an all natural fat burner pill, and we started cutting weight, started eating better.
You more so than me.
Yeah. I stopped drinking during the week. But it was because, again, I was body shaming myself.
I was going to say, it wasn't because of me, because I've always told you I find you attractive. I love how you look, but I love you because of you and the person you are. That's what's always attracted me to you. Is not necessarily your outside, it's your inside.
Yeah.
Your outside does look great, and it looks even better now because you got,
Thanks.
you're in better shape. But I would never want you to feel like I find you more attractive now than I did before, or something, like just because you have bigger muscles.
Yeah.
Like it's still
Or
you
have
as,
less of a fat belly or something like that. Yeah.
But yet, to me, your belly was never. You just get bloated very easily.
Mm-hmm. You can see it in my face, though. My face was one of the biggest differences is the bloatness in my face, like how my face was just puffier. And like I said, I was body shaming myself. I don't need somebody else to do that. I do that to myself. You know what I mean?
I do it way too much.
I've always said this too, is like nobody can tell me something that I haven't either told myself or that my brother and sister have already broken me down for. That's what brothers and sisters are great at, is just cutting you. You know what I mean?
My sisters used to, when I was younger, my older sister would be like, hey, lay down, I need to iron some clothes, because I was very, I didn't have what I have now.
Yeah.
I was a very
Flat.
small, I was
Yeah.
a very petite girl, though. I mean, I'm only 5'3". I technically, I'm, because of my
Only
height.
is she 5'3". Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and because of my height, technically, according to some body mass indexes and things, I'm overweight. Or I'm even when I was in the 150s, they would say that that's obese. And I'm like, excuse me?
What the fuck you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just because of how short I am. But when I was younger, I was very petite and very small and very flat-chested. Yes.
Well, I think where some of those come from is the Chinese. That it's based
I'm not
on
Chinese.
The Chinese level.
Oh, you're talking about the
You know,
BMI,
BMI
stuff,
and all of that stuff, and where it says that you're obese and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was a while ago, but I don't know what criteria they were looking at.
Yeah, but I mean, ever since we've been together,
I've gained 20 pounds since we've been together. I lost 10.
At your most, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't ever feel like I was unattracted to you. I don't even.
You noticed it though, because we talked about it. I was like, do you notice? Am I getting?
Yeah, I might have noticed it, and when I said something, it surely wasn't like, oh my God, fatty, like
Yeah, no.
something rude like that.
No.
Like,
It's not anything you've ever brought to my attention and been like, hey, babe, I think, I'm worried that you're getting unhealthy or, something.
how would you like me to approach that?
If you thought I was
as a woman, if I'm a man, since I'm a man, we'll do this.
Let's role play.
Yeah, male versus female. If I see you gaining weight and it's starting to become a problem, what is the best way for me to be like, hey, babe? It looks like, you're gaining some weight. What is the best way for me to approach you?
Well, I think the best way for me would be for you to say, hey, I want to talk about something I've noticed, and I just want to lead with that. I love you. I'm not going anywhere, but because I have a serious fear of abandonment. But I have noticed something, and it's concerning me, and I just want to bring it to your attention. I want to talk about it. I've noticed either, like, let's say I'm starting to gain weight, but you see that I'm gaining weight because I'm eating like crap,
Sure.
Because I'm coming home
Eating
and
fast food.
Yeah, I'm eating fast food, or I'm
food
just,
and whatnot.
not, or I'm like drinking every day, or, I'm gaining weight because you see I'm having these unhealthy habits. Like, hey, I've noticed that you're putting on weight because, you're eating this or you're drinking a lot, and I'm just concerned. I'm worried, not because I'm worried that, oh my God, you're going to get fat. I'm worried because of the health implications it can have. Like, and,
Right.
We are getting older and our bodies won't be able to just drop weight like we used to. Someone in their 20s may be able to just, I'm going to stop drinking soda, and there goes 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even drink soda now, but I think if you approached it that way, or if it's something to where I'm gaining weight, but I still have good eating, like I'm going and working out, I'm eating healthy, like we could talk about it and be like, maybe there's something stressful, like sometimes people gain weight because they hold on to stress, or there's other things going on in their life that are making their adrenaline and cortisol and stuff like that. And, for example, I'm taking the tamoxifen. One of the known side effects for that is, weight gain, which is something that I have in the back of my mind that I worry about. If you came to me and you're like, babe, I've noticed that, you are gaining weight. Do you think it's because of the medicine, or like, is there something we can do? Because it's not that I don't love you or don't find you, attractive,
yeah.
but I mean, and I would want you to tell me the truth. If it is affecting your attractiveness to me, I would want you to tell me,
Right.
if it's getting time for us to be intimate and do the, devil's tango or whatever you want to call it, and you're like,
Like, well, I'd rather not.
Yeah, I want to know. But I also feel like that's, like, if you can't help it, I don't know. There's some things you can't help. Like, if I start gaining weight because of this medicine and I'm eating good and I'm still working out and taking care of myself and being healthy, there's only so much I can do.
Sure.
And I would hope, though, that your sole attractiveness to me is not just because of my outside, like I said about you before. Like, my sole attractiveness to you is not just because of how you look on the outside. I loved you before you had bigger biceps, and I'll love you afterwards. Now, if you got to be like jelly roll size, would intimacy be difficult? Yeah, it would probably.
Sure.
But it wouldn't be because I didn't love you or didn't look at you and think you're attractive. It would be because probably physically it would be just hard.
Okay.
But that's how I would want you to approach it.
So softly.
Yes.
To sum that up.
Yes.
Softly. With,
yes.
With.
But that's just me. Maybe somebody else can take, like, harsh, or they need abrupt in your face. Like, they don't need you to be soft. They need you to just
come out with it.
Come out and tell it like it is.
Yeah.
I'm not. I need tenderness, softness, and compassion and love.
Right.
How would you want me to approach it with you?
I am the opposite.
So you would want me to be like,
yeah, because I am very black and white. There's very little gray area with me. Mm-hmm. And if, like you said, if you are unattractive, if I am starting to become unattractive to you, if I am unattractive and you're unattracted to me, hey, babe, you're gaining weight and I don't want to see you naked no more. Or what you eat is a problem. If it's, like you said, unhealthy habits, that I think would be a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah.
And with that, it could be a little bit soft, like, hey, maybe don't eat the frickin' French fries and Big Macs and stuff.
Yeah, stop going out to eat every time at lunch. Let's start meal prepping and bringing our lunches or whatever.
And I think that's a really good way is you don't just come with a problem and point finger and say you help with a solution. I think that's the soft side to it too. So I would want to know how you're feeling and then softly say, hey, how can we fix it?
Yeah.
But I would want to know straight up, like, come hit me with your best shot. You know what I mean? Just punch me in the mouth and say, hey, this is how I'm metaphorically. This is how I feel, and then you can softly deliver the solution.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's. I could do that, even though I don't like being super harsh, but if that's what I knew you needed.
So when I was at my heaviest last year and a half ago, I don't know if you ever brought that up. I don't think you ever brought it up.
No, because I never looked at you. I've never looked at you and been like, oh, you're heavy or you're chubby or you've always, to me, been I don't want to say petite. I don't know if that sounds offensive to say a petite man. That doesn't sound manly, but you're not a big guy. Right. You've never been a big guy. Yeah. Like I can't look at you and be like, oh yeah, you got fat. Now I've seen pictures of you before we started dating, like where I could tell you were thinner. A lot, yeah. But you didn't look like it's like drastically changed. And I don't know. I used to be like, oh, I love your dad bod. Yeah. I know, and you would start rolling your eyes.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, you would start rolling your eyes at sometimes when I would say that, and
because to me, I don't want that.
Yeah,
I don't want to have the dad bod. And like I said before, I don't think you brought it up, but it was more of me criticizing myself. And it was the way that I felt. I felt like I was overweight and I felt like shit because I always felt bloated and my stomach always looked puffed out. And so for me, it was my own sense of the way that I looked in my reflection.
Yeah.
So I body shamed myself. I didn't need you to do it.
Yeah. Well, and maybe part of me too just didn't want you to get super buff in shape because then, you're just going to leave me for someone else. You're just going to get all hot and, hotter and sexier. And then you're like, I don't need you.
That's not the case. So let's talk about what a healthy partner will say.
Some other examples. I've noticed you seem down lately. Are you okay?
Yeah, they can say things like, do you want me to support you? Like we talked about.
Yeah.
I want us to feel good together. That was one of the things that when we started our weight loss journey is
And health journey.
our health journey is I wanted us to feel better together. And if you lead with, I love you, I'm not trying to hurt you, and then actually listen, that's a really healthy way to explore that conversation or to start that conversation.
Yeah.
And if they mess up, but they repair, that's what a healthy person does. And a healthy person can say things like, I didn't realize that hurt you. I'm sorry. I won't say it that way again. Whereas an unhealthy person says, oh, you're just too sensitive. Or you just can't take a joke anymore,
No.
can you?
Or I guess I can't say anything.
Oh.
That is not repair. That's just defensiveness. And I think we've all heard that. Well, I just can't say anything anymore.
I just won't say anything anymore ever again.
I just won't,
That's a stonewalling technique that people in relationships use. So if you hear that, call that out too.
Yeah. If someone is making comments about your body and you are starting to feel smaller, uncomfortable in your own skin, picking at things about yourself, the first thing I would do is start calling out what is happening, identifying it. And then next, tell them directly what is not okay. You don't have to yell, not, begging, just be very clear. Like, when you comment on my body like that, it hurts me. I am not okay with my body being joked about, compared, or criticized. And then watch what they do.
Yeah, not just what they say. Watch what they do and see if they care. Do they help that repair? Do they change? Or do they mock you and minimize it and flip it on you and keep doing it? That answer will tell you pretty much everything you need to know. And if the pattern continues, you may need to seek support outside of that relationship or end the relationship and leave it altogether, depending on the severity of it, of course.
You cannot heal your body image in the same environment where someone keeps damaging it.
You have to stop debating your pain with someone who is committed to controlling it.
The point of this episode is not that every awkward comment is abuse. The point is that love should not make you hate your body.
Yeah, love may challenge you.
Love may be honest.
Love is also having those hard conversations like we've talked about.
But love should not humiliate you, compare you, or make you feel like you have to earn affection by looking a certain way.
That's not love. That's control.
And if this hit home, comment, not just a joke.
And if you ever had a body comment stay with you, you're not crazy for still remembering it. I still remember mine. Tell us your story because you're not alone.
Yeah, some words leave marks, but healing starts when you stop seeing yourself through the eyes of someone who wanted you to feel small.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another episode. Go follow us on all of our socials, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.